So now that I got my aquaponics system back up and running and the water's checking out, I went ahead and got some more goldfish, 20 more, which would give me a total of 40 in there. And I actually got a couple crawfish to act as detritivores on the bottom. There's one already in there, which is an interesting story, because back when I got the original batch of goldfish that I killed off, I had a crawfish that I put in there. And when all the fish died, I thought that it had died too. But I guess that was just, it had molted, and because I didn't realize that because all the fish had died, I just assumed when I saw its limp, lifeless body in there that it had died too. So it turns out, I just saw it, like a day or two ago. It's freaking huge now, so I guess it had been eating all the dead fish bodies and detritus in the bottom. This was like months, so it's been living in there very well. I threw it a piece of chicken and it grabbed that, so I'll make sure I keep it well fed from now on, but it definitely had enough to eat in there. It was eating all the probably worm poop and everything else that worked its way back down the system, not to mention the dead goldfish that were in there. And so now I'll have a couple, so I'll have 3 now, and hopefully there'll be at least one of the opposite sex, and maybe I'll have a bunch of little crawdad babies in there. And then I got a plecostomus to try and manage the algae on the side of the tank. Not that it's a huge issue, but just keep it under control. Now it's funny because I used to work at a pet store like 15 years ago, back when I was a teenager, and so I know the names of like the scientific names of a lot of these fishes. And I was like, hey, I need to buy a plecostomus, because that's what we always called him. And he was like, what? And I was like, a plecostomus. And he was like, and I'm like, the sucker fish? And he's like, oh, a pleco. And I'm like, yeah, that's plecostomus. That's what it stands for. Anyways, we eventually ended up communicating with grunts and hand signals, pointing, and I got that. And then I went to, well, actually, first I went to Lowe's before I got the fish, because I just got back. I'm about to throw these guys in there. Let the temperature, see, the way I normally do it is, I set the bag in the water to let the temperature acclimate for about 5 or 10 minutes. Then you can mix a little bit of the tank water with the bag water, let it sit there again for a few more minutes, and then you can put them in the tank. And that's probably the safest and least harsh way to acclimate them to the tank water. But before I went to the pet store, I went to Lowe's, and I got some red peppers. I got some mild jalapeno peppers. This is an eggplant. It was not too expensive, so I'm going to give that a shot. Then I got some cucumbers, and I think there's a watermelon in here, and something else. What the hell else did I get? Okra. That's what it was. So I should be able to fill out the bed pretty well, the gravel bed. I'll maybe prune back that wax begonia thing a little bit more so it takes up less space, and then hopefully the nutrients from these fish will be enough for these plants, and the plants will be able to cycle out properly. And we'll see, man. I'm getting excited about it again. Nice to have it up and running. So I'll show you guys the progress when I get all this stuff planted and get the fish in there. On go. You want to check out the aquaponics? Are you a fan? Okay, so it is, what is today? June, 11th, I think? I'll put an annotation, the exact date. But there are now 41, I just threw some goldfish flakes in, 41 fish in here. 40 goldfish, 1 plecostomus, and 3 crawfish. For detritivores, clean up the bottom, keep it interesting in there. I went ahead and put the plants in. Now this one is just an arm that broke off of that aloe plant there. And so I just stuck it in here to see what happened. I don't know if the succulents will do that well in here. Maybe too much water for them, but I know they propagate pretty easily when you just snap a piece off like that, so we'll see what happens. Not really worried about it, it's more like an experiment. This is that rosemary I was talking about, and then here's all the other plants, so we get to see what it looks like. Get these out of the way. Prune that guy back even more because he's spilling over. So these are all the plants that I just put in, so I can do time lapse. See how much these grow. Show you what I got here. I got 2 yellow bell peppers in the front. Now when I'm buying these starts at like Lowe's is where I got these. They're veterans discount too. And I grabbed the ones because most of the yellow bell peppers would only have 1 plant in there, but some of them had 2 for the same price, so I grabbed them. Same with all of the other plants. If you look at the pots around, sometimes they just have one that have a couple. Like this okra was 1 pot, and there's practically 10 plants in there, maybe more. So these, this, that's all okra. Along the back, there's that Georgia something collard, Georgia green collard, I think. These two are the mild jalapenos. These two are my eggplants. See how those do. Maybe a little warm out here for them. Strawberry, of course, is already in the middle. Now these are a couple, they still got some of the styrofoam on it when I was dunking them in the water to get the dirt off. So when you have the starts like that, they come in dirt, so you have to dunk them in a bucket of water, break up the root plot, wash the roots off and everything. So they got some of those stupid styrofoam pellets that they have in there on them. So these were all from one batch, or one purchase, I guess, one pot of watermelon as well, and there's at least 5 or 6 plants in there. So the idea is that I'll let the vines spill over here, see if those work. Same with these cucumbers right here. This is a red pepper right there, and that'll round it out. So we'll see what happens with those. Let's see if this is enough nutrients for that amount of plants. And I'll keep giving you guys updates on how these grow, how well they tolerate the heat and whatnot, nutrients, how the fish are doing, all that good stuff. Fun project. What'd you find, Longo? What is it? Did you find one of your old poops?